Yo YouTube, what's up? I'm Tim, he's NBA Jared. These are the best and biggest questions from you guys all over YouTube. You aren't getting these answers. Let's get it going.
Alright, Tim, let's do this.
Alright, first question here. The biggest thing for me has really been everyone will not shut up about the Miami Heat like they're the only team in the NBA. You know, fine, but the bottom line here, the Heat have not started off well. And really everyone's saying, wow, this team's not going to make the playoffs, this, that. You know, call me like a realist or whatever, but I'm not panicking right now. You know, I'm not a Heat fan by any means, but I'm looking at this and I think, yeah, they don't have a big man, but we kind of knew that coming into the year. We knew they were going to have to depend on guys like Udonis Haslem and Ilgauskas to fill roles that, quite frankly, they weren't good enough to have. So I didn't think they were going to win the NBA Finals. That's why I still picked the Lakers, and I thought, you know, I thought the Magic would probably come out of the East. But the bottom line with this, are the Heat going to make the playoffs? Because in my mind, there's not even a question. You got LeBron, Bosh, and Wade on a team, you're still making the playoffs no matter how bad things go.
Well, this is an easy one. Of course they'll make the playoffs. I actually haven't heard anybody say they won't. But if somebody thinks that they're not, then they really don't know basketball. But making the playoffs is a given for this team. What they're worried about is winning a championship. And they're not going to do it this year. And I'm going to tell you guys why. This is not a 3-on-3 game, folks. Okay? NBA is 5-on-5, and you need at least an 8 to 10-man rotation to win a championship. You need a great coach, a solid bench, role players, a good point guard, and a center. That's how I feel about it. But the reason why the Miami Heat obviously get so much press is because LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh are on the same team. I know you're probably getting tired of hearing about them, but the bottom line is they're America's favorite team. They're America's favorite team to hate. They're America's favorite team to watch. And a lot of people have jumped on their bandwagon, and they're a lot of people's favorite team. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. But the bottom line is they're not going to win a championship this year with this roster. They have to make changes, and I've said this 100 times, and I've said it on my channel. They need a better defensive point guard that's going to make LeBron and D-Wade play their actual positions. They need a center, and they need a couple of pieces off the bench, and then they need Pat Riley to coach. But I definitely think they'll make the playoffs. I don't know what seed they'll make. I actually said that they'll have the best record in the NBA. It looks like I may be wrong about that. But we'll see how it goes. But I think the Miami Heat will be fine as far as making the playoffs. But winning the championship this season, it's not going to happen for the Miami Heat.
All right, well, the Lakers have started off well, and we've seen teams like the Hornets start off well. San Antonio is quietly 12-1, and we know how this team goes. They got a lot of veteran leadership there. They're a solid team. But at this point in their careers, can Tim Duncan and Manu Ginobili lead this team through a full year into an NBA Finals? Or deep into the playoffs, for that matter?
That's a great question. I actually think they can lead them deep into the playoffs and maybe even to the finals. I really think they can. And I'm going to tell you why. Last year, they got swept in the playoffs. They were hurting. They had a lot of different injuries. But this year, they're rejuvenated. Tim Duncan's 100%. George Hill and Tony Parker are playing well together. Manu Ginobili did not play basketball this summer, so he's fully recovered. And they have a brand new player named Richard Jefferson. I know he played for the Spurs last year, but he disappeared for them. He had a tough time with that offense. Now, for those of you that don't know, the San Antonio Spurs have a very difficult offense to learn. And with him just coming into that offense, it was very difficult. And the worst thing a basketball player can do is think too much. And that's what Richard Jefferson was doing. But with a year under his belt, to get to know the offense a little bit better, I think the Spurs will be fine. They are a team that's going to be very, very dangerous because they have a great bench. They have terrific role players. They got a superstar player. They got a great coach. That's a great organization. And I'm telling you what, the Los Angeles Lakers better look out for the San Antonio Spurs.
All right, I'm looking at an article right now that says the Cavaliers have banned anti-LeBron James apparel for his return. Now, I think we all know that someone will get through wearing a shirt that says, LeBron James, you suck. But, you know, is this right? Because quite frankly, if you're asking me, I think people need to get off LeBron's case. The national-wise, people that aren't LeBron fans need to get off his case. But I think Cavs fans can get on him as much as they want. If this guy left my team, I would be mad too. And Do you think they should be allowed to wear whatever they want and bring signs that say whatever they want? I mean, obviously within limits, but what are your thoughts on that?
That's funny you bring that up because I was actually interviewing somebody that lives in Cleveland about this very subject because I heard about the same thing. I actually think they should be able to wear what they want, like you said, within reason. The reason why the Cavaliers organization is being so strict on this because it's a national televised game. And they know a bunch of kids are going to be watching this, and they don't want to see a bunch of swear words and stuff written on people's shirts and on paraphernalia and stuff like that. So I don't mind them wearing what they want as long as it's not explicit and vulgar and stuff like that. Because the bottom line is, these people pay a lot of money to come into these games, and in my opinion, these are the fans that have a right to talk about LeBron, because these are the people that he did wrong. He did this team wrong. He did the organization wrong, and he especially did the fans wrong. I actually am going to do a special before the December 2nd game. I was going to talk about this on the show, but you know what, Tim? I'll give you the exclusive. You're going to hear it here first on your show. If I'm LeBron, here's what I would do if I was LeBron James. Before the game starts, he needs to grab a microphone. You know how they do it like in the opening game of the season. And he needs to address the fans. Okay? First of all, he needs to apologize about Game 5. He needs to apologize about the whole decision and everything else. And he needs to apologize on not doing the press conference in Cleveland, on making the Cleveland Cavaliers organization wait, just like the whole national media, to see where he was going and the whole decision-making process. He really needs to make a sincere apology, and he's going to hear the boos while he's saying it, but he needs to have his people set something up so that he can be able to grab the microphone and speak for about 4 or 5 minutes. I really think he should do that. And I'm not saying it's going to make anybody feel better, but the bottom line is, people make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. And as long as you own up to your mistakes, I don't have any problem with that. So if LeBron James does that, he'll be back in good graces with me. But the reason why I personally have a problem with him is because, to me, he's being very arrogant about it, and he's not apologizing.
All right, thanks, Jerry. Always glad to have you on your show. On the show, check out Jerry's NBA Talk TV. Check out his new channel, Jerry's Life Talk TV. Both great channels. Jerry, thanks for coming on. Glad to have you on as always. I'll see you guys.
Thanks a lot for having me on the show. We always have a good time on here. You ask really, really good questions once again. I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. And don't forget, if you can believe it, you can do it. And remember, folks, always, always treat people how you want to be treated, and everything will be okay. This is NBA Jerry on the Cash Kelly and AC Sports Report. Peace.